Good morning. Welcome to the Kehillat Shari Torah Halacha Review for Friday, January 1st. We've been talking about, since yesterday actually, about placing meat and dairy on the same table at the same time. Obviously, we know we're not allowed to eat them together, but if one person A is eating a meat meal, person B is eating a dairy meal, how is that feasible, particularly when they know each other and they're likely to taste from each other's plates? The poskim mentioned that one cannot appoint a shomer. You can't say, sit here and make sure that neither of us taste from each other's plates. That's not going to work. But if you have the sign that we've been discussing placed on the table, something not usually on the table that's placed there as a reminder, then having a person there to sort of watch over you does help. A symbol, such a symbol, a heker as we called it yesterday, may be used for a person who's eating alone at a table. Others say it doesn't help for someone, for an individual, because why would you have meat and dairy on the table at the time? At the same time, if it's just you, two strangers, two people unknown one to another, let's say, for example, in a restaurant or some kind of let's say you're traveling on the throughway and you stop at a rest stop, two Jewish people who don't know each other may eat meat and dairy at the same time, even without a symbol, a sign. Two people sitting next to each other in a restaurant. I don't know what. Actually, I do know of a restaurant. There used to be a restaurant in Seattle that served both meat and dairy. They had two separate kitchen sections there. So in that case, you could have both meat and dairy on the table without a sign if the two people eating are not known one to another. If they are friendly enough to eat from each other's plates, then they require a symbol, as we said. A Jew and a non-Jew may share the same table for their respective meat and dairy meals, even if they're friendly, as long as the non-Jew's food is not kosher, because a Jew is not going to taste anything non-kosher. There's no concern that the Jew will eat non-kosher food no matter what it is, because he's completely removed and is always on guard from such a practice. That's the assumption, based on Be'er Heitiv, Chachmas Adam, and others. Placing meat and dairy on a counter. You're allowed to place meat and dairy on a counter, not the kitchen, not the dining room where you're actually eating, but a kitchen. In a public kitchen where there's a lot of activity and there's a real concern of accidentally confusing foods, one should be at an extra level of caution and care to separate dairy and meat. If there is food not fit for consumption, that may be placed on the table when either meat or dairy is on the table. For example, you have a piece of raw meat. You can put that on the table. Not sure how appetizing that would be, but even if people are eating pizza or pasta with cheese in it, you can put a piece of raw meat because nobody's going to reach out for a taste of that. The Rama, commenting in Shulchan Aruch in Yoredeya, the laws of forbidden mixtures, cautions that one should be careful to drink from separate utensils for meat and for dairy because some food particles might stick to the utensil. Some poskim mention that one can be lenient with glass because it does not absorb food, right? However, the custom is to use two separate sets of glassware. You will notice occasionally that our glasses, even in a washing machine, do not yet necessarily get as clean as we would like them to be, and sometimes you wind up with small food particles there. So even a small bit, we want to try to avoid any mixing of meat and milk together. We're extra careful about that. So particularly in our days where glassware is not as expensive or luxurious as it once was, good idea to have separate glasses even for meat and milk. Okay, this is Erev Shabbos, so tonight candlelighting is at 4:33 p.m. You see the candlelight is already getting later, so the days are getting longer bit by bit. We're heading towards hopefully spring and summer and good health for even better health for everybody and safer, happier times. So 4:33 is candlelighting this afternoon. Were we to daven in shul, gather in shul this evening, which unfortunately we're not quite yet able to do, hopefully sooner rather than later, we would be davening mincha and Kabbalat Shabbat at 4:35. So if you're davening on your own, be mindful of those times. We will, Emir Hashem, have a minyan tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Please sign up for that before 10 o'clock today if you haven't done so already. And hopefully we'll have the requisite number of people. Tomorrow evening, Shabbat concludes at 5:41 p.m. Everyone's invited to a Zoom Havdalah at approximately 5:51, about 10 minutes after the end of Shabbos. Have a wonderful day, a good Erev Shabbos, and a Shabbat Shalom to everyone.